I got to be honest here, because that's what I always am. But it's a bad day to be batting for Democrats. Inflation was expected to ease in August, a fair amount. But the latest consumer price index report shows that inflation actually stayed ugly at 8.3% year over year, with the consumer price index up 0.1%. The Biden administration just can't seem to get a handle on it, and the stock market's not handling it well. The Dow sliding at almost 1,000 points now, 800 points then. The S&P 500, the NASDAQ also taking a pounding. Dow Jones economists have been predicting a 0.1% drop in inflation for month to month, but the exact opposite of that is what happened. And what makes it all worse, or better, depending on your perspective, President Joe Biden is holding an event celebrating the Inflation Reduction Act, which did exactly nothing to solve inflation thus far. Joining me live to discuss, the founder of Walser Wealth Management, Rebecca Walser. Rebecca, good to have you here, but let's just be square here. The price of food up dramatically again, over 10% from what I was just reading. The fact of the matter is gas went down a little bit, and Joe Biden has artificially suppressed the price of gas by dumping tens of millions of barrels from the strategic reserve into the market. If he hadn't done that, inflation would be even higher, I believe. What say you?
Yes, you're 100% right, Steve. So the Biden administration has already basically used 160 million barrels out of the strategic oil reserve. And then in July, they authorized another 20 million. So people heard 20 million and thought that's what they had used. No, that was just the final number. And they had done this strategically really to be used through the month of October next month in order to get the gas prices down. It's totally them going after inflation in a non-strategic way, meaning they're using false economic pretenses of releasing additional reserves in order to get the price down, not actually going after additional supply, either U.S.-based domestically or outside of the U.S., even though Saudi Arabia and OPEC obviously declined. They only gave them 100,000 more barrels a day. So, yes, this is a shock to economists who thought that the oil shenanigans would bring the overall number down further than it has. And the fact is, Steve, is that they just can't fake these numbers as much as they thought. It was supposed to be 8.1.
Yeah, because I want to weigh 8.1 or less. They were telling us, a month ago that it might be in the sevens, right? Okay, so here's where I want to get you to weigh in. Because I keep reading these reports, the national price of gasoline, the average keeps coming down. But I've asked the folks here on the Getter feed live, because I know here in Michigan where I am, the prices are creeping back up. And so I've had people weigh in from Minnesota and Ohio and Pennsylvania. They all say the same thing. Prices went down. They've been coming back up for a few days, if not a week or more, because the demand on the world oil markets, it's all played on futures, as you know. Those oil futures are going up, which means gasoline futures are going up. Joe Biden can only play this game so long of dumping oil into the market. Yep. Why are they telling us that the price of gas is going down when the people on the street know better?
Well, if you listen to what they said last month, there's that's already a outdated indicator. So they're talking about what their plan is when reality just is going too fast for them, Steve. They cannot keep up. So they tried to use this strategic oil reserves to really sort of hide inflation. And, they have every reason to do that, especially in the months of July, August, and September, because that's when all of the cost of living adjustments are set for the next year for Social Security and Medicare. So they really wanted to get the inflation numbers down specifically in these 3 months, July, August, and September. And they've done it successfully to some extent. But the truth is, everyone knows this is temporary, it's fake, and it's going to end in October. Therefore, gas will not only go up based on where it should be priced, but also because of the fact that we're no longer going to have these extra supply put into the economy just fakely.
Well, when will we see the prices jump? Because that's the important consideration, Rebecca. A lot of places, I know where I am, early voting starts in about 2.5 weeks, real soon. It's true in a lot of states around the country. If people continue to, follow like a herd of sheep or whatever, then they're going to say, "Oh, look, things are not better." Gas was $2.25 for me when Joe Biden took office. It's $3.75 today. It's $1.50 higher. People know that groceries are especially higher. Another great measurement of inflation is rent. Rent keeps going up everywhere in this country, right? I mean, these are some critical factors. Food, housing, transportation costs going through the roof, and buying a used car, a new car, still not even in the realm of possibilities for most Americans. I'll give you the last word.
You know, I am not trying to prognosticate yet about the midterms because I think that we have enough time, Steve, between now and then to have a massive market event. And I'm actually expecting, unfortunately, a black swan of a sort because we are at the precipice of, you know, really the global debt fiat system ending. We were really there 2 years ago. Coronavirus bought us 2 years of time. We're there now. We are at the end. You can see countries already around the world collapsing, Steve. So I think, yes, early voters will look at the current situation, but I think the day closer and much closer to, we're going to have massive economic events that are going to really change the direction of whatever way the election was going. I think people will want some change because this is not going to be a very good situation.
I changed my mind. I have one more question because this is really important. It slipped this is really critical, and it slipped my mind. Coming Friday, after 3 years of failed negotiations and a rejection of a 22% pay increase over 5 years retroactive to 2020, 115,000 railroad workers across 13 unions could walk off the job as early as Friday. If the railroads of America come to a standstill on Friday, further disrupting supply chains, delivery of groceries, auto parts, products, whatever it is, how devastating could that be?
It's the end of America. I mean, besides the truckers, the rail moves the world, and especially in the United States, as you know. And so, Steve, outside of truckers, if the rail race stops, even for any amount of time, you're going to see massive disruptions at the end user at the point where we're going to the store and buying. So I'm telling you, we are on the precipice of massive economic events. Everyone should really prepare. Don't think that we're over this thing and get back into equities and bonds like there's no problems. No, that's not the case at all. We have massive economic upheaval. Before this year is over, it will come.
Yeah. All right. Rebecca, I've got to leave it there. I agree with you completely. I've been following this railroad strike we've been talking about in this program for more than a couple of weeks now, because it looks like the Biden administration has failed miserably to head it off, which could be devastating for this country. Rebecca Walser, we'll talk again soon.
Thank you.